Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. My name is Evi and I read books. And today I got for you guys a pretty long video, I think. As you can see behind me, like a lot of the parts of my bookshelves are empty. Like there are like complete gaps, like everywhere there are gaps. And the reason for that is because they're all here. You see some of the piles you see. Today I'm going to show you guys all the book series I'm currently reading, and having them displayed like almost half of my bed, I realized I do definitely need to start finishing some more books series, because this, I think, I have no idea how many I have here, and I'm pretty sure I still have ebook series that I'm reading that I just don't even think about. So get yourself something to drink or to eat and enjoy watching. So the first adult series I'm reading is a sort of a romance series, and I have read the first book like a couple of years ago, so it has been a while already since I've read the first book. Really enjoyed it, but have the second book and have the sixth book. I remember buying the sixth book was like my first English book buy. And then I realized that it was the sixth book in the series, and then I needed to buy, I bought the first one, and I read the first one. I did not hate it, did not love it, like it was an average book. And I did buy the second one like this year, like secondhand, to give it another go. So I got here the Annie Valentine series with the which is a series about, I don't even know what it's about a personal shopper, I think in London that it takes place, who's like a single mom, I guess, looking for love. I have no idea. I know it's like a romance book. So I got The Personal Shopper. Late Night Shopping is the second book, and then I still got that sixth book, The Shopping with the Enemy. So I do want to read this series again, like continue on with this series. I just haven't actually done that, so I might just read the first one again, then read the second one, and then maybe just go on to see if I like the series enough to go on with it or not. Then I got chunkier books. This is a trilogy. I still need to read the last book, and I'm definitely trying to accomplish that series this year, because like it's such a shame that I have a series where I just need to read the last book to finish it, and one of my goals was to finish more book series. So I got the Mr. and Mercedes book series by Stephen King. This was the first Stephen King book I have read. It's like these mass market paperback books, and I did actually enjoy the fact that they're like these type of books. I mean, I used to be like really precise with like not breaking spines and not even like a crack in it, but actually I realized that I'd rather have a book that's really been read and loved than a book that looks pristine and perfect but you hate it. So I don't really mind anymore. That's why I also buy secondhand books lately, because I just don't care anymore that much. About Bill Hodges, who's actually a retired detective, and he gets a message of some killer to actually hunt them down, like if I'm correctly. Like I'm always pretty vague with my descriptions. So I got part one, Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keeper, and The End of Watch is the last book. The only thing I think is sad about this series, because they're the same edition, as these are like pretty much similar covers, like an umbrella, a tree, light kit. This one has way too much color. I think it's just too much color for the book series, like to be a unison, like to be the same, but I still love them. Let's get on to middle grade. I actually started this year with reading middle grades, because I don't think I read a lot of middle grade before. I'm gonna start with a book that I've read for Whatever You Want, I think it was, and it's because Gavin has been talking about it, and I think it's one of Gavin's favorite books, if I'm correctly, and that is Nevermore and by Jessica Townsend. It's a witchy book, a magical book. It's really nice. It's Morgan Crow, who's actually cursed, who goes on the day that she's supposed to die to like this magical place to join a society, and she actually has to do some trials to get in that society. And I already got the second one, Wondersmith. I know they're like 3 books normally, but I don't have them. I'm only showing this, in this video, the book that I do own. So this is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow, and I know there's a third book in there too. I think it's a green cover. Like, I really like the fact that they're different colors. But and then one of my 5-star reads of this year. Love the atmosphere, love the intrigue, love the horror aspect of this middle grade series, and these are the 2 books that I've got from it. This is the Cassidy Blake series by Victoria Schwab. Yesterday I saw a reading sprint where they discussed the fact that the first book is amazing, the second book is less, and the third book is a little bit repetitive. I definitely want to I have read City of Ghosts. Like I said, loved it. It's a 5-star read of me from this year, so I'm definitely continuing on with the series. This took place in Scotland, and I just love the atmosphere, the ghosts, the funny, and the moments that was in this book. And then the second is A Tunnel of Bones, and Bridge of Souls is the third book. This one takes place in Paris, and I think Bridge of Souls takes place in New Orleans. I do have to say, in the first book they really did a lot with the atmosphere and like building up the places, so I really hope they stick to the places. I haven't been in Scotland, but I have been in Paris, so I do really want to know if it gives me the right vibe of it. This is actually about a girl who can see ghosts. She is between 2 worlds, so she can see ghosts, she can try to help those ghosts, and her parents are actually ghost hunters, which is pretty convenient for her, and this is what the series is about. YA, and most of them are, I think, YA thriller, horror, or fantasy. And that's the selection by Kira Cass. I think it's contemporary dystopian, actually, even. I bought this as a cover buy because I loved it, and the cover, haven't continued on with this series. I think I read this in 2016 or something, so if I'm planning on continuing with this series, I might need to reread this one first to see if I like it, because I vaguely remember stuff of it, but I don't completely remember it. So like I said, I might just need to reread this one soon to see if I feel like completing on the series, and then just like binge by the rest of the series. This is about 35 girls or something that needs to fight for the heart of some sort of prince, and America is one that is someone who actually doesn't really want to be in this game and doesn't really want to seduce the prince because she doesn't want to marry him. Then let's get to the fantasy, because like I said, my main books are YA thrillers. The fantasy books that I do have to continue on reading because I want to watch the TV show, but I have read the first one, and that's the Shadow of Bone series by Leigh Bardugo. This first one is Shadow of Bone, and the second one is Siege of Storm. This is the movie cover, this is just a regular cover. I couldn't find the first edition in this cover. I don't mind that much that it's not the same covers. I think I gave this 3 or 3.5 stars, so it's not like I hated it. I know a lot of people said like the TV show is better than the books, but I'm not gonna do the same thing as I did with the Shadowhunter World books series stuff, because I did not like the books anymore because I just hated the stuff that I knew that was happening in the series. So I'm not gonna do it again. The third book in the series is Rune in Horizon, and then you also have the Six of Crows duology and this King of Scars duology in this universe. Series that is taking me 10 years, because if I'm correctly, I bought this book in 2012 on a book fair, or 2021. So it's taking me 10 years to finish this series, but I'm pretty sure like there's still books coming out at the moment, so that doesn't really matter that much. And they're chunky books, but they're such a quick reads. I mean, they have pictures, so that makes it quick reads. In case you're wondering, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Like I said, I bought this in 2012 for apparently €18.95, which is okay for a hardback. Like, most hardbacks are like 25 euros or something lately that I noticed. So Miss Peregrine's Home is actually about Jacob, who goes Jacob's grandfather who passes away, and they go to this island in England, and Jacob realizes that he sees certain stuff and people that normal people don't really see. And in that world, he actually meets the Peculiars. And that's actually what the first book is about, like him finding out his gifts and how to work with this gift and who are these peculiars, because they take place like in a different time period. They have pictures, they're spooky, but you fly through those books. So the first book is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Then you have Hello City, Library of Souls, Map of Days, and The Conference of the Birds. They're all by Ransom Riggs. And I do know there is, oh, what's the name? The Desolations of Devil's Acre is the 6th book in the series, and you have like a little fairy tale type of book too, Tales of the Peculiar, which is like in the same universe. But the 6th book isn't translated in Dutch, and I have the Dutch copies of this book, so that's why I haven't got it yet, because otherwise I would definitely got it, because I actually finished this one in September and I enjoyed it, and I do want to continue on reading. But I guess I looked for it, but the translated version of this book isn't out here. And I don't mind like this matching covers, but I do mind the fact that like I would have an entire series in Dutch, like translated in Dutch, and then the last book in English. So the YA thriller and horror. I'm gonna do the Dutch thriller horror series I'm reading as last. These are like 7 books or so long, and the series itself is like 11 books long, but I don't got all of the books. But I'm gonna keep that as last, because I do know a lot of people that watch my video don't really speak Dutch, so I'm gonna start with obviously my English thriller and YA books. I got the first 2 parts in here, but I only have read the first one, and those are the Study in Charlotte, or the Charlotte Holmes series by Brittany Cavallaro. So I got the Study in Charlotte and The Last of August here. Like, these are actually not the kids, but like great grandchildren of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Wadsworth, who actually don't even like each other, but they end up in the same school and things are happening, and they kind of have to meet up and have to work together a little bit. That's actually what this is. It's like a mystery thriller series based on Sherlock Holmes. Who doesn't love Sherlock Holmes? Like, I have read Sherlock Holmes stories and I really enjoy them. Doing the same thing in present day, really like it. Disliking each other also, really, like, they're not friends to lovers or enemy to lovers, but they're like enemy to friends, maybe? Is that a trope? I made it a trope. To my 3 top favorite books series and books of this moment. So I'm gonna go from, well, I got one who's a little bit less, like a step down of the 2 other series. The other 2 series are both 5-star series for me, or like have a 5-star book and 4 or 5 stars. But I have read the first 2 books, and that is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco. So we got Stalking Jack the Ripper, Hunting Prince Dracula, Escaping from Houdini. And I also really like these covers. Who's actually talking about Audrey Rose, who's a girl in the 1900s, so she's pretty much allowed to be pretty and, you know, sit still and be pretty. But she's like, no, I want to study forensics, I want to do autopsies, I want to be like a coroner, I can do this, I'm a girl, but I can. And her uncle, who is actually a coroner, is like, okay, yeah, I can teach you everything. So that's actually what this first book is about. Well, I'll go to my 2 series I've talked about so much. So I'm gonna start with the one that I'm rereading. Slowly rereading just to go to the 4th book, and that I've been talking to about so much that you people probably already know what book it's gonna be. And that's these pretty books. I'm talking about the Truly Devious series of Maureen Johnson. So we got Truly Devious, The Vanishing Stare, The Hand on the Wall, and the last one, The Box in the Woods. 5-star read. I think it's 5, 4, 4.5 star read. Haven't read yet, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like between 4 and 5 stars. Truly Devious is about Ellingham Academy. It's a dual time perspective thriller series about a girl, Stevie, who goes to Ellingham Academy. Ellingham Academy is actually this school where learning is a game that's focused on your talents and your interests, and is placed on top of a mountain. So it's like pretty abandoned. Actually, well, not abandoned, it's like, you know, it's an actual school and people are living there, but like you're not easy to reach and everything. So it's a murder mystery, a dual timeline perspective murder mystery. So that was the first one that had like a dual timeline that I liked. And then I think I read, like in the same period, I read the first one of Jack the Ripper's, and that's like historical, and that's when I realized I might enjoy, I don't really enjoy historical books, but I realized I might enjoy historical thrillers more. But the one part of the story takes place in the 1930s, where Ellingham Academy is just opening its doors, and Albert Ellingham is like this really big TV personality guy with a lot of money who says like, you know, learning is a game, we're gonna let everybody enjoy their life and learn. His wife and his kid disappear. His wife turns out dead later, but his Alice, his daughter, is never being found. So Stevie is obviously, like you can probably think already, she's invested in crimes and interested in crimes. And she's actually going to Ellingham Academy more because she's just really curious about the entire case. And there are weird things happening while she's there. The first 3 books are taking place in the 1930s and in the present day, with Stevie at Ellingham Academy. The 4th book, I think, doesn't take place in Ellingham Academy, but is also with Stevie and like the characters. So I'm really curious about the 4th book. That's why I'm actually rereading this one. We're on to the second to last series, like the last English series that I got, and that is these pretty books also. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Black. There's a 0.5 part, and that is Killjoy by Holly Black, but I read it on audio through, I think Audible or Script. I have no idea, maybe they're on both. But that's like a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So we got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Good Girl Bad Blood. And As Good as That is the 3rd book. My favorite book, one of my favorite books of this year. At first I thought like, oh yeah, maybe 3 like end of the like 3.9, 4 star. But then I was like halfway through and I was so invested and so intrigued with the story that I thought like, yeah, no, this is gonna be a 5 star. This book was so intriguing to the end that I literally, the moment I finished this one, I messaged my friends because I was seeing them that evening, and I messaged them like, yeah, I'm gonna be late. And I'm the person who's always early or like right on time, like to the minute on time. So they were like, what do you mean you're gonna be late? You're never late. I was like, yeah, I'm reading my book and I'm finishing it today, so I'm gonna be late. I was like, yeah, no, I'm coming, but like I'm finishing my book first, so I don't know if it's finished on time. What is this about? This is about Pippa who's doing like a last end of the year project for school, a school project, and she decides to do it about a murder that happened 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And that is a murder on Annie Bell, or the missing case of Annie Bell. People say that her boyfriend at the time did that. The last series is too much to love, and is a Dutch YA thriller series I'm reading, and that is the Team Mortis series by Bjorn van den Ende. Which the first one, Romeo and Juliet mystery, De Bende van Venus, Het Todesspel, De Zwarte Zon, Kristalkinderen, Bloedlijst, and The Spiegelmoorden. This one I haven't read, and the other ones I haven't bought yet. But because it's like 11 books in this series, and I have read 6, I think. But the first book is actually about a girl whose parents died, and her grandmother is like really old. She lives with her grandmother, and her boyfriend gets shot in front of her, and then she realizes her boyfriend was like in a secret society, not really, but like in a secret team where they're actually using kids as spies for the government to solve cases. So every book actually takes place in a different part in Europe. Okay, so these were all the book series I'm currently reading. I might just look back on this video next year to see if I actually finished some of these series, or did I start more series? Who knows? My goal this year was to finish more series. I think I started like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I started 6 series this year from the 13. Yeah, I suck at my goal. I thought I was doing okay with it. Like I was reading series, but then I realized I just started 6. So yes, I continued on with them, but like I started them too. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Leave down in the comments below what book series you love or you're currently reading, or how many you're currently reading, so I don't feel bad about reading so many at once. And if you want to see more of me, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll talk to you soon.